You're coming back to reality TV. It's been a little bit of a minute, but you're gonna be here to stay.
For sure. So I think, you know, doing Special Forces, and then there's maybe some other shows that I'm doing as well. And then we also have our family show, which will be so fun, so interesting.
And different.
Very different, because for the first time, we'll actually be allowed to touch on the legal matters and be outspoken about that. So we're gonna touch on that on the family reality show. Real estate business in Nashville, which is like booming and so much fun.
What aren't you doing right now?
That's the thing. It's like when you're a single income household, like you do whatever you have to do. And I will make no bones about it. I'm like, I spent my money like it was never ever gonna go away. Started at 15 to now in my 20s. And so I get out there every day and I'm like, I wanna make a better life for these two kids. And so it's gonna touch on that. It's gonna touch on me and Chase's dating lives and actually like going full throttle, because now I'm like a single parent dating and I'm like, you date me, you date like all these other people.
Yep.
Yeah.
How is dating going? Because I always say dating in LA is one thing, and then like dating in Nashville is like a whole different thing too.
It is. So it's going good.
It's going good. Okay, that's a good update.
Honestly, it's so funny because I look at it and I'm like, God gives you what he knows you needed in like the most unexpected timing. So I look at it now and I'm like, okay, like maybe I've like met the one I'm supposed to be with.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you keep that on the DL?
I'm just trying to figure out like what's the best way to do it. And two, I'm like, all these tabloids and news sources like monetize off of it, so I'm like, I might as well do it, you know? So I'm like, let's wait till TV starts like filming and airing.
Then use your own show to show it. There
Exactly.
we go. But also, I imagine you want to protect him.
That's the hard part, is when mom and dad left, it's been so hard because I want to protect the kids, and I don't care about me. Because frankly, I grew up in television. I'm used to all the negativity that I know how to have a filter. And now for anything that's healthy in my life, I'm like, I want to try to shield all the outside influence, which is really difficult because people will always have an opinion comparing this relationship to the one with my ex-fiance or whatever it may be. It's always something.
And then you get to that point too, though, like we all get there where it's like, you love your love and you just want to profess it, and then you're like, oh wait, no, I gotta protect you in this bubble. But there will be a time, and maybe we'll see him on the show, or we'll hear him on the podcast.
You're so right. Yes, the podcast. I'm like, okay, maybe you can come on and like tell your story, because it's a crazy one. So I'm like, you know, but you want to keep it so sacred, but then you're also like, I want to scream it from the rooftop. So you never know.
It's gonna be a big drop. Hope you prepare for this.
Girl, you are getting gritty on this show.
I know. When the opportunity presented itself, like there was no way I could say no. It was kind of like a bittersweet moment. That was the first show I watched with my parents before they left. So it aired at around like September of last year. And it was the last show I watched. And we watched it. My mom was like, you would do so good at something like this. And then the opportunity just presented itself, and I was like, I'm saying yes.
So what do your parents think of you being on the show? Because clearly your mom's like, you're gonna do great.
Yeah, so they're so excited just to be able, because they'll be able to watch it. So it's also a way of like connecting with me, even though we're not together.
It comes at a time in your life where you are being tested emotionally. How are you doing?
You just put one foot in front of the other. I have such a personality to where I've endured so much trauma in my life, even before this, that I've never spoken about. And it's like, you just never give up. Life is so hard. And I look at my parents and I'm like, you know what? I'm doing this for them. I'm doing it for two kids that are looking up to me. And I'm also doing it for myself, because I'm coming into myself. I'm finding my own path forward. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying. I'm coming back. Who knows what's gonna happen?
This is a lot for you to handle. You're doing it with grace, and you're doing it to promote change. Do you think of like the cycle of life where you grow up and your parents care for you and protect you at all costs, and now you're doing that for them?
It is, and I will say the most, and I've never said it before, but when you're sitting there at visitation and you see these men who are in the latter years of their life who you know don't have much longer, but they're in the system. I kind of, the first time I saw it, I had like a freak out because I was like, that could be my dad. Like I could easily lose him to the system. I could get married or have my first kid and he's not there. And so I look at it and you like see all these different scenarios during visitation. You're like, that could be us. And I refuse to allow that to be us, which is why I fight so hard, because I've written a letter and I plan on mailing it out to like every US senator. And I say, if you want to convict them, but convict them on the truth. Don't convict them on the government making these polarizing statements. And so I say, if you want to convict them, do it off of evidence. Don't do it off of these statements that you want to make that are not factual. And if you've got the evidence to do it, then do it. I will accept it and I'll walk away. But I know for a fact that the government doesn't have that, and that's why I fight so hard with every attorney known to man. And I mean, I have, when I tell you, like I've spoken to Alex Spiro, which is Elon Musk's attorney. I've spoken to Robert Shapiro, who represented OJ. I've spoken to top of the line lawyers who are like, you're on the right path.
So I can't help but think of being on Special Forces. How much will we see of you trying to show this new you almost of having this platform that you were trying to create change?
For sure, and I think the biggest reason I did the show was so my parents could watch it. That was like the only big reason I did it, because I was like, I want to have a connection with them that I wouldn't have otherwise. And I hope that that show and that experience just creates so many different ways for me to speak to people.
What are you excited for fans to see from you? Because I imagine being in the position that you are in and have been your life growing up, where there's always opinions about you, there's always misconceptions, there's always someone saying something, but like here you really get to show people even more of who you are.
For sure. I think going out on a limb and just, I'm in a place in life to where like I'm not saying no to anything. It's just if an opportunity presents itself, I'm taking it and I'm running with it. And it's more so for the kids to show them that like, it doesn't matter what comes your way. Everyone's gonna try to beat you down. Everyone's gonna try to cancel you. And you just show up. You show up, you say yes, and you put your best foot forward. And I feel like I did that, and it was a very growth-filled experience.
I can tell you're proud.
Oh, I'm so proud. I had like so much fun. I can't wait for episode 1 because I thrived.